Okay, so we're back again. A Muslim and an atheist break bread. I'm here with my pops, and we're just looking at Malcolm X on front page challenge. Now we done Muhammad Ali last week, and he was one of the goats. Obviously, we came to the came to it. I think we both knew before that icon was what he was, and he transcended boxing. It was more than that, and but what do you think of Malcolm X? Do you hold him in the same vein as Muhammad Ali?
Yes.
So he'd be one of your icons. You'd say, if you
I don't have icons, but yeah, you know, if I had to pick people from
if you was gonna have a
who contributed to the greater good, I would choose Malcolm as one who contributed to the greater good at the expense of his life.
Who else would you put in? Would you put Martin Luther King? Would he be in there as well with them two?
Well, he did, yeah.
Okay, then we're gonna see what this video is about. I believe that this is after he's left the Nation of Islam.
Okay.
So we'll take a look.
Spoken Negro leader Malcolm X.
Sir, what's the real reason why you two men split? Is it merely ideological, or is it personality? What else?
Probably personality. It was not the statement that originally was given by the movement when we split. It's more personality than anything else.
You've called people like Martin Luther King, who just got a Nobel Peace Prize, an Uncle Tom. Is this correct, first?
Well, I'd rather say that in the States, there's a law that has recently been passed, or a decision handed down by the court, wherein if you call someone an Uncle Tom, they can sue you for libel.
Well,
so I never refer to them as Uncle Toms. I would say that Uncle Martin is my friend.
Uncle Martin is your friend, yet you would disagree with his approach to what he wants to accomplish.
Definitely. If his approach would bring about what the black man in America needs to completely eliminate the problem that we have, I would say well and good. But I very much doubt that anyone who adopts the approach that Martin Luther King has been teaching to our people in that country can point to any meaningful gains that has actually served to solve the problem.
Black Muslims have sometimes, whether you have or not, and I think probably you have.
Would you agree with that in terms of saying that Martin Luther King's approach didn't really do anything? Obviously in school, growing up, you're not even taught about Malcolm X. You talk about Martin Luther King, but you're not even taught about Malcolm X.
Martin's there, man, and it.
Yeah.
So, is it the real story of Martin Luther King, or is it their story of Martin Luther King? You know, what we have, even with Malcolm X, at the point where we would have got the real story, they kill him. Now, both of them were young men.
How old were they?
Well, they're not old people.
20s, the 30s or
something. You
30s, isn't it? It must be like 30s.
So we didn't see what those people could have become, because the way the system is, because they spoke out of turn, they were put back in place so that the rest of us know that we must stay in place too.
Probably you have sometimes, it seemed to me, been preaching hate to meet hate.
I don't advocate any kind of hate.
But there's a lot of talk that sounds very much like it.
No, I think that the guilt complex of the American white man is so profound until when you begin to analyze the real condition of the black man in America, instead of the American white man eliminating the causes that create that condition, he tries to cover it up by accusing his accusers of teaching hate. But actually, they're just exposing him for being responsible for what exists.
Well, that's something of an argument, but I've heard speeches made by some of the people of your group. I think I've heard you make speeches. It seemed to me that you were advocating what I would have to describe, I think, as violence to meet the serious injuries that have been done your people, with which I totally agree.
I don't call that violence. I don't in any way encourage black people to go out and initiate acts of aggression indiscriminately against whites. But I do believe that the black man in the United States and any human being, anywhere, is well within his right to do whatever is necessary, by any means necessary, to protect his life and property, especially in a country where the federal government itself has proven that it is either unable or unwilling to protect the lives and property.
It's weird how they're arguing the very foundation of what America's built on, because that is America's thing, isn't it? Like, we have the right to bear arms to defend ourselves by any means necessary. But when someone else says it, it's like, nah, you can't talk like that. That's ridiculous.
America. The Constitution wasn't written for the black man. Nor were the gun laws.
But do you find that as well? It's like, I know you was talking the other day about what your thing is, everyone should go back to Africa. Because realistically, can you ever fix a system that isn't broken? Like, this is how the system designed.
Which system?
Then the Western system.
It isn't broken. It's broken.
But is it not designed this way on purpose? When we say it's broken to us because it doesn't suit us.
Well, it's broken because it's built on a Ponzi scheme and it's run its course. So a next Ponzi scheme or something else has to come in. But they've evolved them to the point where what next is the lack of clarity. But the issue is not what they're doing. The issue is the lack of us doing anything. Now, as far as I'm concerned, that's not true. It's just not televised. You know, migration to Africa is happening at a phenomenal rate. This is what I said. They're saying 20,000 Americans last year bought land and starting to build in Gambia alone, never mind anywhere else. So this is what I said. The perception is not always what's going on, but the revolution won't be televised. Just remember that.
Property of those human beings.
Just before Pierre takes it, you've got a pretty good fighter and the world's heavyweight champion lined up with you to help out. Yes, Pierre.
Well, Mr. X, if I guess I call you that, is that the proper appellation,
Yes.
Mr. X? I'm wondering if you still believe, as I think you certainly did at the time you were allied to the Black Muslim movement, in a segregated black nation in North America.
I don't believe in any form of segregation or any form of racism. I'm against any form of segregation and against racism.
Is it, am I right in saying that the Black Muslim movement, which you have left, did believe in that?
Well, Elijah Muhammad taught his followers that the only solution was a separate state for black people. And as long as I thought he genuinely believed that himself, I believed in him and believed in his solution. But when I began to doubt that he himself believed that that was feasible, and I saw no kind of action designed to bring it into existence or bring it about, then I turned in a different direction.
Are you still a Muslim yourself?
Oh, yes. I'm a Muslim. I believe in the religion of Islam, which believes in brotherhood, complete brotherhood of all people. But at the same time that I believe in this brotherhood, I don't believe in forcing my desire for brotherhood upon those who aren't willing to accept it.
Of course, I think the Christians would say that they also believed in brotherhood. What did you say to that?
I'd say they believe in it, but don't practice it.
That'd be a pretty good answer.
Sir, when the muezzin goes up in the minaret twice a day, he cries to the world, there is but one God, and he is Allah. Do you deny that there is a Christian God?
The muezzin does this 5 times a day.
5 times, and I only heard him twice.
Well, you were fortunate to hear him twice. But he does this 5 times a day, and the same God that he says that he expresses the existence of is the God that the Christians profess to believe in themselves, and the God that the Jews believe in. One God, the creator of the universe. The Muslims believe in the God that created the universe, and I think the Christians do, and the Jews do. Now, as long as all of them are talking about the creator, the Jews may call him Jehovah, and Christians may have another name for him. Those who are Arabic-speaking refer to him as Allah. Well, we believe in the same God.
Now, as the Muslim religion advances in the United States, are you modernizing it or sticking with the old faiths? For example, the complete segregation of the sexes.
I think that everything today on this earth is being modernized. Religious principles and practices, as well as political and other things.
Now, when you went to Mecca, this is a very sacred and forbidden city. I tried to get to Mecca myself and certainly didn't make it, not being a Muslim. But how would they accept you as one? You're an American. There are few American Muslims.
This is true, and by being an American and not having not being able to speak the Arabic language, I did strike a snag, a very serious snag, but I was fortunate to have been pretty well known by the officials in Arabia, and they knew too that I had accepted Orthodox Islam. It had been highly publicized in the paper, and I became a guest of the state. I was a guest of Prince Faisal, the present King Faisal, and they made it possible for me to go before the committee, Hajj committee or Hajj court, who examines you and asks you questions about your belief, and if you pass it, then you are okay to go to Mecca. But it's
you would
true.
have to have a translator then.
Would you like to go on the Hajj?
It's mandatory for Muslims to go on Hajj. Would I like to go? No.
No, why not?
I don't see the purpose. You know, the Deen tells me what I've got to do. So the 5 pillars of Islam, Hajj is one of the 5 pillars. But personally, if it wasn't for that, why would I be going to Saudi Arabia or any of them countries? I'd never go there. You know, in the same way I'd never go to Israel. Just, there ain't nothing there for me. You understand? But because of Hajj, then yeah, if you gotta do it, you gotta do it.
Do you think that when you go places, though, like there's nothing there for me? See me, I just go there to see what's going on.
See what's there.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Well, this is what I do, and those places ain't got nothing.
Well, Hajj is like sacred, isn't it? I guess if you asked every Muslim, do you really want to go on Hajj, they'll probably say the same answer.
Well, what does
I don't
that
know.
mean? It's sacred.
Well,
It's
I don't know.
mandatory.
This is what I'm
mandatory.
asking you.
It's not sacred. It's mandatory. You understand? So because it's mandatory, then they make a hoo-ha. They've built it up, and you know, it's a big business tourism thing. Free money every year for the ones who are on the other end of the pile.
Where is it? So what is Hajj? Hajj is when you go to Mecca
And walk around this
and go around the
Kaaba.
The Kaaba. Is that the first? That's the first one, isn't it? From Muhammad or something, where he broke all the idols. Is that what it is? Yeah.
It's supposed to be.
But is it the original one that's there?
Why, Aaron? I don't know what's original. I haven't been there yet. I don't know what's original and what's not. What I do know is there's no archaeological evidence to prove that any of that was ever there. It's there now, but they've been digging and they never find any dinosaurs or anything under it. No evidence of hundreds of thousands of years of people coming there. So, what should I say? I'm told by Muslims that this is it, you know, but if you accept that someone's telling the truth because they say they're a Muslim, then that's your business, and the point is do your due diligence and do what you're doing. Hajj is big business for somebody. Me still looking for the part where, you know, you become more pious because you do it. As such, the same as like me say when I was at church and people get the spirit, do they become, they've just been in there with God, do they come out with a brighter light, effectively? And this is what I say with Hajj, people do it. It's like you're economically able to do it. It's not because of the spiritual. It used to take like 3 months. People went there, they knew they would die and stuff before they come back. Now it's just who's got the money, and you go down there doing 20 minutes and come back kind of thing. You know, is that Hajj in the old writings? I'm led to believe it is, but I've never seen any evidence. archaeological evidence for anything in that area. So, yeah, I'm dubious.
You would have to have it translated then.
I had one. Then realizing that our problem in America, that we are black Americans and we have a problem that goes beyond religion, we formed a group known as the Organization of Afro-American Unity. And the objective of this organization, it's non-religious, number one. Any Negro can belong to it. And the objective of that organization is to bring about a condition that will guarantee respect and recognition of the 22 million black Americans as human beings. We feel that the problem, number one, of the black man in America is beyond America's ability to solve. It's a human problem, not an American problem or a Negro problem. And as a human problem or a world problem, we feel that it should be taken out of the jurisdiction of the United States government and the United States courts and taken into the United Nations in the same manner that the problems of the black man in South Africa, Angola, and other parts of the world, and even the way they're trying to bring the problems of the Jews in Russia into the United Nations because of violation of human rights. We believe that our problem is one not of violation of civil rights, but a violation of human rights. Not only are we denied the right to be a citizen in the United States, we're denied the right to be a human being.
Mr. X, may I thank you very much for coming on our program and perhaps clearing away some of the cobwebs of misconception that some of us might have had about your belief. And I think you're a very sincere man, and it takes a lot of courage to admit a former belief is wrong, and we congratulate you for that and the service you performed tonight in giving us your views. Thank you so much, Mr.
Thank you.
I think that interview was like the Ali interview, you know, at a point, a critical point in his life, and it just left the nation. Things is all up in the air.
But so, I bet he got perceived as, well, I bet when he left the nation he was the good guy again, because I can imagine the nation was very demonized in America.
Demonized by whom?
By society. If he wasn't in the nation.
Malcolm, when Malcolm left,
yes,
it
when
became
he was
more demonized.
Not less.
No, they were just considered like they say, a black extremist group, which is where America puts everything that doesn't fit in their mainstream. But Malcolm leaving the nation shouldn't really have changed anything, because the nation is a religion. Malcolm was just a participant, one of the ministers. He never said it was his viewpoint that he was selling ever. He always said, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad Blower, this is what he thinks. Right, so this interview now is the first time really hearing what Malcolm thinks. And then he did a few more, and as his idea got more polished, the shorter time he had in this world, and because the day he left nation, that was when the hit was put, so they was coming.
Oh, so what? Do you think... What, you think he was killed by the nation of Islam?
Yeah.
Has that been proven? I thought the government killed him.
No, you said, well, why would the government kill him? Government kill him ultimately.
This is why I was...
Right,
well,
the point is, nobody could actually get to him while he had the gang.
Yeah, okay.
But once he was offside with the gang, it was easy for the gang and its conspirators to double up, twos up, triples up. You know, the security man who should have been outside wasn't there. And there's all sorts of things that was going on around. Yeah, they came in and some men pulled the trigger, but is that who killed him? Or was that decision taken elsewhere?
No, it's the decision that was taken elsewhere. Right. But this is what I was asking. I thought, yeah. I don't know why I always thought the government killed him, though. No.
Well, they were bumping everybody off, but they set it all up, innit? With Dr. King, or, you know, even the presidents that they bump off, they always have someone to blame it on and hang it and this and that. But in America, presidents and anybody who is rocking the boat gets bumped off.
That's true.
That's just the way it is.
Yeah, man. All right, then. So that was Malcolm X talking about why he left the Nation of Islam. Yeah, man. So let us know in the comments. Again, we appreciate the support for watching the videos. I think it's been a long day, weekend, but we'll be back. with more content for you guys. So we're out.